What's going on, everybody? Eric Bourassa here, and today I want to go over something that is really fundamental to our progress as guitar players, but is oh so boring to do. So we're gonna try and just get through the 7 shapes of the G major scale, and then I'm going to give you a few kind of fun ways to spice it up so that you're not totally bored to tears while you are practicing these. Let's go over a couple of things. Number one, there are some people who just don't believe scales are important to learn, and there is another group of guitar players that think they need to learn all of their scales before they can do anything cool on the guitar. And I know this because I've actually heard real-life guitar students say this. My philosophy on this is, yes, you should learn all the shapes and all the boxes, but then maybe just pick a few that you really like, and then as soon as possible start improvising and writing with the scales and actually using them. I would not waste a lot of time just running them up and down mindlessly, okay? So we'll go over a couple of cool ways that you can avoid just running scales for no reason and then becoming a guitar player that hates playing guitar. Let's start with box 1 of the G major scale. The notes of a major scale, it starts from a root note, and it goes up a whole step, and then up another whole step, and then up a half step, up another whole step, up another whole step, and up a half step. So you can start literally from anywhere on the fretboard, pick a note, call that the root note, and then go up whole, half, whole, half. We walk home when we walk home. A student, Olivia, taught me that years ago, and I never forgot it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start from box 1, but instead of just going across one string, we're gonna go vertically. We're gonna go up the strings. Yes, that way is up. We're going up in pitch, okay? So the first octave of the scale goes like this. Right, and that's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then you're back to G. We are using the 3-note per string system. Typically, that's the best way to get around as a guitar player. Your hand can pretty comfortably, with some practice, go across 3 different notes of a scale. Doing 4 is quite a bit harder. Doing 2 just is kind of unnecessary. I like to stay on one string as much as I can. So 3 notes per string is a good balance and a good way to visualize what's happening. All right, so here is the complete box 1 across all 6 strings. And then backwards. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and then it starts over, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C. I recommend saying the names of the notes of the scale as you play them at least once a day. It'll be really hard at first if you're not used to doing this, but then I think you'll be amazed with, number 1, how quickly you remember how to play the scale even without saying the notes after that. The next shape starts on the note A, the 2nd note of the scale. We have 7 boxes, 7 notes of the scale. So we go to A, and this is what we have. And then backwards, 10, 8, 7, 10, 8, 7, 9, 7, 5, 9, 7, 5, 9, 7, 5, 8, 7, 5. Okay, now I think it's a good time to talk about the finger choices I am using. Make sure you keep your thumb about halfway down on the back of the neck. If I've got a 2-finger spread and then a 1-finger spread, like in this box, I'm gonna use my index, my 3rd finger, and my pinky, okay? But then, when I have to do that extra stretch and I have 2 whole steps in a row, I'm going to use my index, my middle, and my pinky. So that's what I recommend, but you don't have to do it that way. Okay, box 3 starts on B, and it looks like this. Box 4 starts on C. Box 5 starts on D. Let's add some distortion because it's more fun. Okay, real quick, I have to tell you, once I get to the 10th fret, what I said about using the middle finger for 2 whole steps in a row changes for me. I do use my third finger at this point. So I go index, ring, pinky. Except going backwards, sometimes I'll use the middle finger. So I don't know, you gotta just find what works for you. Okay, box 6 starts on E, and it goes like this. And then box 7 starts on the 14th fret, F sharp, but you can play it up here or you can play it down at 2. I'm gonna play it at the 2nd fret with some gain. Now, let's talk about a couple of different ways to practice these other than just going up and down and side to side and diagonally. We're not going to talk about those ones today, but you may notice you probably have a tendency to rush and not necessarily play all the notes perfectly. So what I would do in that case is set some kind of boundary for yourself that forces you to go slow. So you could hold each one for 4 beats. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. And then eventually speed it up to 3 beats in between, 2 beats in between, 1 beat in between, and speed it up from there. What I would not do is this. Cool, got it. No, you don't got it. If you're making mistakes, you're going too fast. But it's kind of boring holding a note just for 4 beats. So I like to maybe like use the whammy bar in between. I might do this. So on and so forth. It makes it a little bit more interesting that way. Or I might do whammy bar dips. Or I might do dive bombs with each one. Right? Or if you have a whammy pedal, which mine is stuck on for whatever reason, I got to get it fixed. You could do like this, right? You can also do vibrato. Okay, so that's just a few ideas of things you can do to sort of keep your scales interesting. But then the other thing I would do is just start improvising with them. So like maybe turn on a backing track and don't start from the first note. Start from a random note in the scale. Two other final ways to talk about practicing this would be to play the legato, okay, so hammer-ons and pull-offs. You can also pick each note more than once. Okay, so we haven't talked about using sequences or different patterns really within that. We're still talking just about going up and down and keeping that interesting. So, but I do recommend memorizing the 7 boxes of the G major scale to start, then start moving it to other keys once you get comfortable with that. That's my advice. Learn the scales, but as soon as possible, get out of the habit of just running them up and down. Start getting creative with them, start playing them in different ways, and then use them to actually make music, and you do not need to memorize all of your scales in every key. And if you come across a weird key at some point that you're not used to, because you've practiced it in several other keys, you'll be able to figure it out. So you don't need to be doing B flat all the time. I mean, unless you're a jazz guitar player, I guess. But baby, I ain't about that. No, I much prefer the rock and roll and the 4 or 5 keys that we use for that style. All right, you guys, hey, if you dug this, like and subscribe. Let me know if you got any questions in the comments below. Also, be sure to visit the link in the description, ericbourassa.com. I have a new online guitar program coming for you guys that want to work with me directly and go through this stuff more in depth and kind of be held accountable. Not kind of be held accountable, but be held accountable and ensure that you are progressing forward in your playing on a regular basis and having fun along the way. So, all right, you guys, I will see you in the next times.